Have you ever looked in the mirror after 60 and wondered if there's a way to slow time just a little? I'm not talking about magic pills or impossible diets, but real, everyday foods that can keep you strong, sharp, and vibrant well into your golden years. As someone who spent decades talking to seniors in Europe and America, I've heard countless elderly reflections, stories about resilience, health struggles, and hard-won wisdom. The truth? What you put on your plate matters more than you think. These 7 anti-aging superfoods aren't just trendy, they're backed by research to fight inflammation, boost senior health, and help you feel younger, inside and out. Today, I'll share not only the science, but real-life quotes and life lessons from the elderly, people who changed their health and found new motivation after 65 by simply choosing better foods. Stick around as we dive into practical tips, emotional stories, and elderly wisdom worth sharing. If you want more inspiration, senior health tips, and personal stories that bring these lessons to life, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. Let's get started on this journey to a healthier, more youthful you. After 60, many seniors begin to notice subtle changes that feel inevitable: forgetfulness, fatigue, worries about heart health. But what if part of the solution lies not in complex treatments, but in simple, beautiful foods that have been with us all along? Let's start with one of the most powerful, blueberries. They're not just pretty berries, they're medicine in a natural package. Blueberries are packed with anthocyanins, antioxidants that help reduce brain inflammation and improve communication between neurons. Research from Harvard and Tufts confirms that regular blueberry intake can help slow cognitive decline in older adults. For seniors who fear losing themselves to forgetfulness or dementia, this is a gentle, delicious defense. I once spoke to Robert, a retired teacher in Vermont, who laughed about forgetting his students' names in dreams, but admitted it wasn't funny when he forgot his own appointments. His daughter urged him to try blueberries every morning with his oatmeal. After a few months, he told me, I felt sharper. Not perfect, but better. Like my brain was finally on my side again. It's these small daily choices, elderly wisdom handed down in quiet kitchens, that give us the best chance at maintaining our independence. But protecting the mind is only half the battle. The heart, after all, is what keeps us going, literally and figuratively. That brings us to avocados, one of the most deceptively simple and powerful foods for senior health. Avocados are rich in monounsaturated fats that help lower bad cholesterol and raise good cholesterol, which the American Heart Association says is key to reducing heart disease risk, the #1 killer among older adults in Europe and the US. Beyond that, avocados are packed with potassium, even more than bananas. This mineral helps relax blood vessel walls, lowering blood pressure naturally. Chronic hypertension is so common after 65 that it almost seems expected, but it doesn't have to be accepted. Frank, a 75-year-old from Manchester, shared with me how his doctor had warned him for years about rising blood pressure. He relied on medication but hated the feeling of dependence. His granddaughter suggested something so simple it sounded silly at first: avocado toast. He began replacing processed breakfast foods with fresh bread, smashed avocado, a drizzle of olive oil, and cracked pepper. 6 months in, he said, eyes lighting up, my readings improved. The nurse actually cheered for me. He chuckled, but then turned serious. I feel like I'm finally giving my heart the respect it deserves. This is elderly reflections at its finest. Not abstract advice, but real people choosing real solutions. These first 2 superfoods show us that aging well isn't about magic. It's about conscious, loving care for our own bodies. And as we move forward, let's explore the next foods on this journey, each with its own promise to help us look and feel younger, not in a superficial way, but in the deep, sustaining way that truly matters after 60. If blueberries guard the mind and avocados nurture the heart, then pomegranates are like a promise whispered through generations, an ancient fruit with modern scientific backing. These ruby-red jewels are bursting with polyphenols, compounds that reduce inflammation, improve circulation, and fight oxidative stress that accelerates aging. In seniors over 65, this matters deeply. As circulation slows, The entire body, from the brain to the joints, suffers. But pomegranates help relax blood vessels and improve arterial flexibility. Studies have shown that drinking pomegranate juice daily can lead to measurable improvements in blood flow and reduce blood pressure over time. I think of Dorothy, an 80-year-old widow in Boston who described her daily glass of pomegranate juice as her insurance policy. She struggled with stiff joints for years, avoiding stairs when she could. After her doctor mentioned pomegranate's anti-inflammatory properties, she gave it a real try. Months later, she told me, "My knees aren't brand new, but they're mine again. I can walk to the library without worrying about every step." That quiet triumph is at the core of elderly wisdom, not curing age, but caring for the aging body with respect and consistency. But let's not forget another critical aspect of aging well: digestion. Papayas, often overlooked in European and American diets, are tropical champions of gut health. As we age, digestive efficiency declines, leading to bloating, constipation, and poor nutrient absorption. Papayas are rich in fiber and contain papain, a natural enzyme that breaks down proteins and eases digestion. For seniors whose medications or slowed metabolism make meals feel heavy, this gentle support is invaluable. Margaret, 76, from Florida, told me about her battle with post-meal bloating. "It made me dread dinner," she confessed. On a friend's advice, she began eating papaya slices after lunch each day. "After a couple weeks, I realized I wasn't unbuttoning my pants in secret anymore," she said with a laugh. Beyond digestive comfort, papayas are loaded with vitamin C, giving the immune system a boost, a vital defense as immunity naturally weakens with age. Margaret's story reminds us that solutions don't have to be complicated or foreign. Sometimes they're as simple as adding a bright, sweet fruit to the plate. These foods don't just fill a stomach. They speak to a philosophy of care that so many elderly reflections have taught me over the years. Choosing what nourishes isn't about vanity or fads. It's about motivation to keep living well. It's about making peace with age while refusing to give in to its worst effects. As we continue, let's uncover even more of these gifts from nature, each one a tool in the lifelong quest to stay vital, independent, and joyful. We've explored how blueberries sharpen the mind, avocados strengthen the heart, pomegranates keep blood flowing, and papayas soothe the gut. But there's another humble fruit that deserves your daily attention: apples. They say an apple a day keeps the doctor away. But for seniors, this isn't just an old wives' tale. Apples are packed with fiber, especially pectin, which slows sugar absorption and helps regulate blood sugar levels. That's crucial, as many older adults face prediabetes or type 2 diabetes diagnoses. Stabilizing blood sugar isn't just about avoiding sweets. It's about choosing foods that help the body process sugars more gently, avoiding dangerous spikes and crashes that leave you feeling weak, foggy, or even at risk of complications. Beyond sugar control, apples fight inflammation, a silent enemy of aging. Chronic inflammation is linked to arthritis, heart disease, even cognitive decline. Apples' polyphenols help neutralize these effects naturally, but they also work on gut health in a less obvious way. The fiber in apples acts as a prebiotic, feeding healthy gut bacteria that support digestion, immunity, and even mood. Henry, 82, from Ontario, told me, "I thought apples were for kids' lunchboxes. Then my doctor told me they're one of the best things for my blood sugar. Now I have one every day with peanut butter, and my A1C numbers have improved. Simple as that." His words are a quiet lesson in elderly wisdom. Don't dismiss the simple things. Often they're the most reliable allies in staying healthy. But while apples keep things steady, our next superfood goes beyond daily balance. It's about defense. Spinach, that vibrant green many of us pushed around on our plates as kids, becomes an essential part of the senior diet for good reason. Spinach is rich in lutein and zeaxanthin, antioxidants that specifically protect eye health. Age-related macular degeneration is one of the most common causes of vision loss after 65, making it hard to read, drive, or recognize faces. Regular spinach intake can slow this decline. Spinach is also packed with vitamin K, essential for bone health, reducing fracture risk in older adults. and it delivers magnesium and folate, nutrients that support heart health, nerve function, and even mood stabilization. For many seniors dealing with polypharmacy, multiple medications that can deplete nutrients, spinach offers a natural way to replenish what's lost. I remember talking with Linda, 79, from Ohio. She said, "My doctor told me to eat my greens and I rolled my eyes. But after my fall last year, breaking my wrist, I got serious about bone health. Now I have spinach salads most days, and my calcium and vitamin K are where they should be." She grinned, adding, "I still don't love the taste, but I love being able to crochet without pain." These stories remind us, food isn't about trends. It's about senior health, motivation, and protecting the independence that so many of us value fiercely. And as we move to the last superfood on our list, think about how these choices, layered together day after day, become a strategy for living better, longer. And now we come to the final gem on our journey of anti-aging nutrition, nuts and seeds. It might sound too simple, too ordinary even, to claim a handful of nuts could help you look and feel younger after 60. But the science is clear, and the wisdom of generations confirms it. Almonds, walnuts, flax seeds, chia seeds. These humble foods are dense with healthy fats, plant-based proteins, and minerals like magnesium and zinc that older bodies crave. Most importantly, they're packed with omega-3 fatty acids and anti-inflammatory compounds. Chronic inflammation is at the root of so much of what we call aging: joint pain, heart disease, cognitive decline, even certain cancers. Reducing that inflammation isn't about expensive supplements. It's about reaching for what nature provides. Nuts also help regulate cholesterol levels. Walnuts in particular are proven to reduce LDL cholesterol while improving artery function. Meanwhile, seeds like flax and chia deliver alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, a plant-based omega-3, and fiber that promotes gut health, stabilizes blood sugar, and supports heart health. For seniors worried about digestion slowing down, a spoonful of chia seeds in yogurt can do wonders. Then there's the issue of muscle maintenance. As we age, sarcopenia, the gradual loss of muscle mass, can lead to weakness, falls, and loss of independence. The plant-based protein in nuts and seeds isn't just a nice bonus. It's a vital building block for staying strong enough to live on your own terms. Consider John, 81, a retired mechanic in Michigan who told me, "I used to think nuts were just bar snacks. But after my doctor mentioned my cholesterol, my daughter gave me this big jar of mixed nuts for Christmas, said it was the only present I was allowed to eat as much as I wanted." He laughed, adding, "Now I have a little bowl every afternoon. At my last checkup, my numbers were the best they've been in years. Plus, I don't get those sugar crashes like I did with cookies." It's a small, sustainable change, a little handful instead of a sugary treat. Elderly reflections like John's remind us that eating well isn't about sacrifice. It's about trading what harms us for what sustains us. So when you think of these 7 anti-aging superfoods, blueberries, avocados, pomegranates, papayas, apples, spinach, and nuts and seeds, don't think of them as a prescription or a punishment. Think of them as a gift you give yourself, a promise to your children and grandchildren that you're doing what you can to be here, healthy and whole as long as possible. Because true elderly wisdom says this: aging isn't something to fear, it's something to honor. And caring for your body with these simple, proven foods is one of the most powerful ways to show that respect. It's easy for someone younger to say, "Just eat healthier," as if swapping decades of habit, culture, family tradition, and even survival strategies were as simple as writing a new grocery list. But talking with seniors across Europe and North America, I've heard elderly reflections that make it clear: changing diet after 60 is about far more than knowing what's good for you. The first and often deepest barrier is habit built over a lifetime. Food is memory. It's safety. For many older adults, their diet was learned from parents who survived wars or economic depressions. In Ireland, Patrick, 81, told me he grew up eating bread and dripping for breakfast. "That's what we had, and it was filling," he explained, not defensively, but honestly. His doctor suggested oatmeal with berries. "Oatmeal?" he said with raised eyebrows. "We fed that to horses when I was a boy." We both laughed. Change couldn't come from mocking his history, it had to respect it. His daughter tried cooking steel-cut oats slowly, topping them with local apples and honey. He tried it. Not bad, he admitted with a grin. That's elderly wisdom. You can't rip out tradition by the roots, you guide it to grow in a new direction. Another barrier is taste preferences formed over time. Seniors often say food tastes different as they age. They're right. Studies confirm taste buds dull over time, making meals bland. Rosemary, 77, from Nebraska, admitted, "I know I shouldn't eat so much salt, but without it everything tastes like cardboard." She'd given up on her children's advice. "They don't get it," she said, wiping tears. We sat in her kitchen with herb jars and lemon zest. She tried fresh basil, rosemary, she laughed at the name, oregano. Slowly, she rediscovered taste. "I feel like I'm cooking again," she said later, "not just heating things up." That's elderly reflections in practice, honoring the need for pleasure in food while gently guiding healthier choices. Then there's social and cultural expectation. Food is love. In Calabria, Italy, 73-year-old Nonna Lucia piled pasta onto my plate. When I refused a third helping, she wagged a finger. "Mangia, mangia, you're too skinny." Her grandchildren told me she'd cooked feasts her whole life. Telling her to make less felt like telling her she was no longer needed, but the family adapted. They helped her cook lighter versions, more vegetables, less oil. She beamed as she served them. "Still Nonna's food," she said proudly. That's life lessons from the elderly. Change isn't rejection, it's adaptation that preserves dignity. A major barrier is financial anxiety. Food insecurity among seniors is real, even in wealthy countries. In Michigan, Clarence, 85, told me, "They say eat fresh, but have you seen the price of fresh?" Living on Social Security, he bought from the discount bin. Avocados were a luxury. We sat with a nutritionist who showed him cheaper options: frozen berries, canned beans, store-brand oats, bulk nuts on sale. "I didn't know you could do all that," he said. "I thought healthy eating was for rich folks." That's elderly wisdom. Advice must be practical or it's worthless. Physical limitations and access are huge challenges. In Montreal, Mireille, 79, used a walker. She couldn't carry big bags. "Even if I want to eat better, how do I get it home?" she asked, voice cracking. We talked options. A neighbor's teenage grandson helped weekly for a small fee. Her son ordered pantry staples online. She learned to plan meals around easy-to-store items. "I feel less stuck," she told me. Senior health isn't only about knowing what to eat. It's about enabling people to get it, prepare it, and enjoy it on their own terms. Emotional resistance tied to grief and loneliness is another silent barrier. After losing a spouse, many seniors stop cooking entirely. Tom, 80, in Chicago, told me, "What's the point of cooking for one?" His wife June had died the year before. He ate takeout most nights, whatever was easy. His doctor warned him about salt and cholesterol, but grief stole his appetite for anything but convenience. A volunteer group began delivering healthy meals. Over time, Tom started asking for recipes, cooking small portions again. "It's not the same," he admitted, voice thick, "but it makes me feel like I'm taking care of myself, like she'd want." That's elderly wisdom. Food is care, love, memory. Fixing diet means addressing loss. Medical conditions and polypharmacy create yet another barrier. Many seniors take multiple medications, which cause nausea, reduced appetite, or metallic taste. Gloria, 72, in Dallas, told me, "After chemo, everything tasted like metal." A dietitian helped her find foods that worked: smoothies with frozen berries, yogurt with honey, mild herbs instead of strong spices. "It's not perfect," she said, "but I can eat again without gagging." There's no one-size-fits-all. Senior health needs personal adaptation. Finally, there's shame and pride. I've met older adults embarrassed to admit they don't know how to cook healthier meals. Henry, 76, from rural Arkansas, said, "My wife cooked. I just ate. Now she's gone. I don't know where to start. A local church ran cooking classes for seniors. He learned oatmeal with blueberries, salads with nuts, baked salmon. Guess I'm the cook now. he chuckled, proud. Motivation doesn't come from scolding, it comes from empowerment. Change isn't easy after 60, but I've seen so many seniors prove it's possible, not by force, but by respect and small steps. Patrick in Ireland didn't switch from bread to berries overnight. His daughter eased him in with warm oats, local apples, honey. Rosemary in Nebraska didn't give up salt instantly. She learned herbs and citrus to bring taste back. Nonna Lucia in Italy didn't stop cooking pasta. Her family helped her make lighter, healthier versions that kept her proud. Clarence in Michigan didn't buy expensive superfoods. He chose frozen berries, bulk nuts, store-brand oats. Mireille in Montreal solved access by asking for help. A neighbor's grandson delivered her groceries. Tom in Chicago, grieving his wife, accepted meals from volunteers before he found the heart to cook small portions for himself. Gloria in Dallas changed recipes to match what chemo left her able to eat. Henry in Arkansas went to cooking classes to learn without shame. The lesson running through all these elderly reflections: change works when it honors memory, budget, taste, grief, ability, and pride. Small, respectful, personal. Aging well isn't about chasing youth. It's about protecting health and independence so you can keep sharing love, wisdom, and stories for years to come. If there's one thing I hope you'll take away, it's this. Aging doesn't mean giving up. It means adapting with care, with elderly wisdom, and with hope. These superfoods, these stories, they aren't rules to shame you. They're invitations to live with more energy, more clarity, and more joy. Even small changes matter. A handful of nuts instead of chips, frozen berries in oatmeal, sharing old recipes with a healthier twist. You don't have to do it all at once. Just start. Because your health is your story, and your story is worth telling, worth living, worth sharing with the people who love you. If you found any of this helpful or inspiring, please consider liking this video or post, subscribing to Elderly Reflections for more senior health, motivation, and real-life lessons from the elderly. And I'd love to hear from you. Where are you watching from? What's one change you're thinking of making after 60? Drop a comment below. Let's keep this conversation going, because you matter, your journey matters, and together we can make aging something to celebrate.